Hey everyone, and welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're headed somewhere incredible. We're talking Santa Cruz Island in the Galapagos.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be fun. It's a true natural wonder, an island where you can walk among giant tortoises, swim with sea lions, and really witness that kind of biodiversity that inspired Darwin.
I am so ready for this, but for those of us who haven't visited yet, can you paint us a picture of what makes Santa Cruz so special?
Okay, well, imagine an island born from volcanoes, rising out of the Pacific about 600 miles off the coast of Ecuador. And you've got these incredible landscapes, from black volcanic beaches to lush highlands, and all just teeming with unique wildlife.
Okay, I am sold. This is going straight on my bucket list, but let's get down to the details. If I'm planning my first trip to Santa Cruz, what are the must-knows?
First things first, you'll need to fly into either Baltra Island or San Cristobal Island. Those are the two main entry points to the Galapagos.
Okay.
From there, it's a short ferry or speedboat ride to Santa Cruz. And most visitors base themselves in Puerto Ayora, which is the island's main hub.
Puerto Ayora. I've heard it's a really charming little town. What's the vibe like there?
You know, it's got this great blend of kind of laid-back island life and scientific energy, given that it's so close to the Charles Darwin Research Station. So think colorful buildings, delicious seafood restaurants, and maybe even a marine iguana sunning itself on the pier.
Wait, the iguana's just hanging out on the pier. I need to see that.
Oh, you will. You definitely will. They're very comfortable around humans.
Okay.
Speaking of incredible wildlife, though, the Charles Darwin Research Station is a must-visit. You can learn all about the ongoing conservation efforts and see giant tortoise hatchlings in their breeding center.
Okay, seeing those baby tortoises is already at the top of my list. So let's say I have 2 full weeks to explore Santa Cruz. Where do I even begin?
Well, we've actually put together a sample itinerary for you.
Oh, perfect.
So let's break down each day and give you a taste of what's possible. All right, so for the first 2 days, it's all about soaking up the atmosphere of Puerto Ayora. So, strolling along the waterfront, trying some local cuisine, and definitely visiting the Charles Darwin Research Station.
I've always been fascinated by the different subspecies of giant tortoises in the Galapagos. What's special about the ones on Santa Cruz?
Well, in Santa Cruz, what's really fascinating is that the tortoise shell shapes actually vary depending on where they live on the island.
That's cool.
Yeah, so tortoises in drier areas, they've got saddleback shells, which allows them to reach higher for vegetation, whereas those in more humid areas have dome-shaped shells. It's really a perfect example of evolution, shaping these creatures to fit their specific environment.
That is incredible. I'm really starting to understand why Darwin was so captivated by these islands. So after we get acquainted with Puerto Ayora, what's next?
Days 3 and 4, we're heading to the Santa Cruz Highlands. So picture misty cloud forests, unique volcanic formations, and of course more of those gentle giants, the Galapagos tortoises.
Now, when we say giant, are we talking bigger than a car giant?
Think bigger than a car. Some of these tortoises can weigh up to 500 pounds.
500 pounds?
Yeah. And at El Chato Giant Tortoise Reserve, you can actually walk among them in their natural habitat. It's truly humbling.
Wow. Okay, so aside from the tortoises, what else can we expect in the highlands?
Well, the highlands are home to these fascinating lava tubes, which are underground tunnels formed by flowing lava. You can actually walk through them. It's like stepping back in time. And the cloud forests are just magical, lush green, and often shrouded in mist. You have to keep an eye out for the Galapagos rail, which is a flightless bird unique to these islands.
Cloud forests and flightless birds. It's like something out of a fantasy novel. I'm already picturing myself hiking through this.
Oh yeah, it's an experience you won't forget. You can even hike up to Los Gemelos, which is a pair of twin volcanic craters that offer breathtaking views of the highlands.
Oh, wow. Okay, so days 1 through 4 are all about exploring the diverse landscapes and wildlife of Santa Cruz itself. What about days 5 and 6? Do we get to experience that famous island hopping that everyone talks about?
Absolutely. Days 5 and 6, we set sail for some nearby islands that offer a completely different perspective on the Galapagos.
Amazing. Where are we headed?
First up is North Seymour Island, which is a haven for bird life. You can witness blue-footed boobies doing their mating dances, frigate birds inflating their bright red throat pouches, and maybe even spot a Galapagos hawk soaring overhead.
Oh, I'm a huge bird watcher, so that sounds incredible. What kind of camera equipment would you recommend for capturing these moments?
A good zoom lens is essential for capturing those close-up shots. But honestly, even if you just have your phone, the sheer spectacle of these birds in their natural habitat is something you'll never forget.
That's a good point. What about our second island hopping adventure?
For that, we'll head to Bacchus Beach, which is known for its pristine white sand and turquoise waters. It's a great place to relax, swim, and maybe even spot a sea turtle nesting.
Soaking up the sun on a Galapagos beach. Sounds like the perfect way to end our island hopping adventure.
It really is. And in the evening, we'll return to Puerto Ayora, where you can indulge in some of the local culinary delights.
Speaking of food, I'm curious, what are some must-try dishes in the Galapagos?
Well, fresh seafood is a staple, you know. You have to try ceviche, a traditional dish made with raw fish marinated in lime juice, onions, and cilantro. It is bursting with flavor.
Oh, ceviche is a favorite of mine. What else would you recommend?
For something a little heartier, try encebollado. It's a traditional Ecuadorian fish stew that's perfect for a cool evening. And Puerto Ayora is full of great restaurants, from casual cafes to more upscale dining experiences. You'll definitely find something for every taste and budget.
This all sounds amazing. But before we move on to week 2, I want to get your expert opinion. If you had to pick one thing that makes Santa Cruz so special, what would it be?
For me, it's the sheer diversity of experiences you can have on just one island. You could be hiking through volcanic landscapes in the morning, swimming with sea lions in the afternoon, and then dining on fresh seafood under the stars at night. It's a place that truly awakens your senses and reconnects you with the natural world.
I couldn't agree more. I know we have a lot more to cover, but I'm already hooked on Santa Cruz. This is definitely a trip I need to take. Welcome back to our Santa Cruz Island deep dive. Last time we left off talking about all the amazing food in Puerto Ayora and the island's unique blend of adventure and relaxation.
Yeah, it's a place that has it all. You can be as active or as relaxed as you like.
Exactly. Now, I know we've covered a lot, but we're just getting started on our 2-week adventure. What's on the agenda for week 2?
All right, so week 2, this is where we discover those hidden gems of Santa Cruz. We'll venture beyond the typical tourist spots and immerse ourselves in the island's natural wonders.
Okay, I am intrigued. Tell me more about these hidden gems.
Well, imagine this, paddling along the coastline in a kayak. The water is so clear you can see the colorful fish darting below you. And you might spot sea turtles, rays, or even a playful sea lion swimming right next to you.
Oh my gosh, kayaking through those crystal clear waters sounds incredible. What are some of the best kayaking spots around Santa Cruz?
Well, one of my favorites is Tortuga Bay. You can kayak through the mangroves there. It's a completely different perspective than seeing the beach from land.
You know what I was going to say? We already visited Tortuga Bay earlier in the week, but I love that idea of experiencing it from the water. Are there any other kayaking spots that you think are worth checking out?
Oh, absolutely. Another great option is Black Turtle Cove. It's a sheltered lagoon on the north side of the island. It's home to a wide variety of marine life. You might even spot a white-tipped reef shark or a marine iguana feeding on algae.
Okay, kayaking through Black Turtle Cove is definitely going on the list. What other adventures await us in week 2?
How about a hike up Cerro Crocker?
Oh, tell me more.
It's the highest point on Santa Cruz, and the views from the summit are breathtaking.
I always love a good hike, especially if there's a rewarding view at the end. What kind of scenery can we expect from the top?
Okay, so imagine standing on the summit. The wind is whipping through your hair, and you're gazing out at the entire archipelago. You can see the other islands rising out of the Pacific, each one with its own unique character. It's really a moment of pure awe and wonder.
That sounds incredible. It's like getting a bird's eye view of the whole Galapagos. So what else is on our week 2 itinerary?
Well, no trip to the Galapagos is complete without experiencing the underwater world. And Santa Cruz offers some of the best snorkeling and diving in the archipelago.
I was hoping you would say that. Are there any spots in particular that are good for beginners?
Yeah, Santa Fe Island is a great option for snorkeling. The waters are calm and teeming with marine life. You can swim with playful sea lions, spot colorful fish, and you might even encounter a giant manta ray gliding through the water.
Swimming with sea lions is definitely on my bucket list. I heard they're so curious and playful.
Oh, they are. For the more experienced divers, though, Gordon Rocks is a must-do.
Oh, tell me more about Gordon Rocks.
It's known for its strong currents and incredible marine life, including hammerhead sharks and eagle rays.
Oh my gosh. Gordon Rocks sounds like such an adventure.
Yeah.
I might need a little more diving experience under my belt before I tackle that one, but I'm definitely adding it to my list for the future. What other underwater wonders can we explore?
Another great spot is Kicker Rock, also known as Leon Dormido. It's a volcanic rock formation that rises dramatically out of the water, and it creates this haven for marine life. You can dive or snorkel around the rock, and it's common to see Galapagos sharks, sea turtles, and huge schools of fish.
The Galapagos Islands really are a diverse paradise. So we've got
Nice.
kayaking, hiking, snorkeling, diving. Sounds like nonstop adventure.
It is, and it's a place where you can really embrace your adventurous side and create memories that will last a lifetime. But I think we also need to remember that the Galapagos is a very fragile ecosystem, so it's important to travel responsibly and respect the wildlife and environment.
100%. Responsible tourism is so important. What are some ways we can minimize our impact while still enjoying all that Santa Cruz has to offer?
Well, one of the most important things is to stay on marked trails and avoid disturbing the wildlife. Always keep a safe distance from animals and never ever feed them. And be really mindful of your waste. Make sure to pack out everything that you pack in and use reusable water bottles to cut down on plastic.
Those are all great tips. It really is up to all of us to protect this incredible place. Now, you mentioned earlier that Santa Cruz has a rich history beyond its natural wonders. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure, let's take a short boat trip to Post Office Bay on Floriana Island, just a stone's throw from Santa Cruz.
Post Office Bay. What's so special about a post office in the middle of the Galapagos?
Haha. Well, this isn't her typical post office. It dates back to the 18th century when whalers would leave letters in a wooden barrel, hoping that passing ships heading in the right direction would pick them up and deliver them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a system based on trust and just the hope of connecting with someone far away.
That's a fascinating piece of history. Can visitors still participate in this tradition today?
Yes, you can leave postcards or letters in the barrel, hoping that a fellow traveler will hand deliver them to their destination.
Wow, I love that. It's like sending a message in a bottle but on land. What a unique experience.
It is, and it highlights another aspect of Santa Cruz that makes it so special, the human stories that are interwoven with the island's natural history.
Speaking of human stories, I'm curious about the local culture in Puerto Ayora. What's the best way for visitors to experience that local way of life?
One of the best ways is to visit the fish market in Puerto Ayora.
Oh, tell me more about the fish market.
It's a bustling hub of activity, with fishermen bringing in their daily catch and locals bartering for the freshest seafood.
You know, I love visiting local markets when I travel. It's such a vibrant way to experience the culture. What kind of seafood can we expect to see at the market?
You'll find everything: tuna, snapper, lobster, octopus. It's a feast for the senses, and you can often find these local restaurants nearby that will cook your purchases right there for you.
Incredible. I can already imagine enjoying a delicious seafood lunch right by the market.
It's an experience you won't forget. And while you're exploring Puerto Ayora, you should check out the local art scene. There are several galleries that showcase the work of Galapagos artists, and a lot of their work is inspired by the island's unique nature and culture.
I'm always looking for ways to support local artists when I travel. What kind of art can we expect to see?
You'll find a lot of different styles, from traditional paintings and sculptures to more contemporary photography and mixed media. Many of the artists incorporate natural materials like shells, lava rock, and recycled materials into their work. It's really unique and vibrant.
This all sounds amazing. But before we get too carried away with week 2, I have a confession to make. I'm a bit of a night owl. Are there any nighttime activities we should add to our itinerary?
Absolutely. One of the most magical things you can do on Santa Cruz happens after the sun goes down. Imagine lying on a pristine beach and you're gazing up at a sky ablaze with stars, completely undimmed by city lights.
Stargazing in the Galapagos. I'm sold.
Yeah.
Where's the best spot to experience this?
Honestly, almost anywhere away from the lights of Puerto Ayora will offer stunning views. But Tortuga Bay is particularly magical at night. The beach is pitch black, which allows the stars to shine even brighter. And you can even see the Milky Way stretching across the sky like a river of light.
Wow, Tortuga Bay during the day, Tortuga Bay at night. Two completely different experiences.
Exactly. And it just speaks to the magic of Santa Cruz. It's a place that offers something for everyone, whether you're an adventurer, a nature lover, a history buff, or just someone who appreciates the simple beauty of the night sky.
This deep dive is already exceeding my expectations. I feel like we've only scratched the surface of what Santa Cruz has to offer.
You're right. There's always more to discover. And that's what makes Santa Cruz such a special place. It invites you to explore, connect with nature, and create memories that will last a lifetime.
I'm so inspired. Santa Cruz is at the top of my travel list. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to make sure we give our listeners all the practical info they need to plan their own trip. Let's cover everything from the best time to visit to packing essentials and budgeting tips.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's make sure everyone feels ready to embark on their own Galapagos adventure.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've spent the last two parts exploring all the wonders of Santa Cruz Island and the Galapagos, from swimming with sea lions to hiking through those volcanic landscapes and even stargazing on pristine beaches.
It's incredible, isn't it? A truly remarkable destination. You can really witness the power of nature and connect with the world in a way that few other places can offer.
I am already dreaming of my own Galapagos adventure, but before I book that flight, I want to make sure I'm prepared. What are some practical tips for first-time visitors planning a trip to Santa Cruz?
That's a great question. Okay, so the first thing to remember is that the Galapagos Islands are a protected national park and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So that means there are certain rules and regulations in place to help preserve this fragile ecosystem.
That makes perfect sense. Responsible tourism is so essential for protecting the Galapagos for future generations. What kind of regulations should visitors be aware of?
Well, when you arrive in the Galapagos, you'll need to purchase a park entrance fee. And this fee goes directly toward conservation efforts and helps maintain that pristine environment.
Okay.
You'll also need to be accompanied by a licensed guide when visiting most of the island's key sites.
So having a knowledgeable guide is a must. What are the benefits of traveling with a guide in the Galapagos?
A licensed guide can make sure that you're following park regulations, but they also provide invaluable insight about the wildlife, the environment, the history of the islands. They can point out things that you might miss on your own and help you understand the delicate balance of this unique ecosystem.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like having a personal expert there to enhance your entire experience. Where can visitors find a licensed guide?
Most hotels and tour operators in Puerto Ayora can help arrange guided tours, but it's best to book these in advance, especially during peak season.
Got it. Booking those tours early is key. What other advice do you have for planning a smooth and enjoyable trip?
You know, packing light is really essential. You'll be doing a lot of walking, hiking, maybe even kayaking. So, comfortable shoes, lightweight clothing, a good hat, those are must-haves.
Comfort over fashion, especially when you're exploring those incredible landscapes and dealing with the tropical weather. What about any essential gear? What should I make sure to pack?
Definitely bring a reusable water bottle so you can stay hydrated.
Good one.
And since the Galapagos are right on the equator, you know, sunscreen, sunglasses, and a wide-brimmed hat are essential to protect yourself from that strong sun.
Oh, sun protection is key. What about other essentials for a Galapagos adventure?
Don't forget a waterproof bag to protect your electronics and valuables, especially if you're doing any water activities.
Yeah.
And if you're prone to motion sickness, you know, packing some medication for those boat rides is also a good idea.
Great tips. Now let's talk about budget. I know a Galapagos trip can seem like a luxury, but is it possible to experience the magic of Santa Cruz without breaking the bank?
Oh, absolutely. While it's true that costs can add up, especially if you opt for those high-end accommodations and private tours, there are definitely ways to travel on a more modest budget.
Okay, I'm feeling hopeful.
Here.
What are some ways to keep those costs down?
Choosing a less expensive time to visit can make a big difference. So the shoulder seasons, April to May and September to October, generally offer lower prices on flights and accommodations.
So traveling during the shoulder seasons is a smart move for budget-conscious explorers. What about accommodations? Are there budget-friendly options on Santa Cruz?
For sure. Puerto Ayora has a wide range of accommodations to suit every budget, from hostels to guest houses to more luxurious hotels. Yeah. Hostels are a great option for solo travelers or those on a tight budget, while guest houses offer a more intimate and local experience.
So I can find a cozy and affordable place to rest after a long day of exploring. What about food? Are there ways to eat well without spending a fortune?
Yeah. Local restaurants, often called commodores, offer delicious and affordable meals. You can also find fresh produce and seafood at local markets, which is great if you're self-catering.
Oh, it's all about embracing that local culture and cuisine. What about those must-do activities? Can visitors experience the highlights of Santa Cruz without spending a fortune on tours?
Many of the island's most rewarding experiences are completely free. So hiking to Tortuga Bay, exploring the Charles Darwin Research Station, wandering through Puerto Ayora, these are all incredible experiences that won't cost you a dime.
That's fantastic. So with a little planning and a willingness to embrace those local experiences, a trip to Santa Cruz is definitely achievable, even for budget-conscious travelers.
Absolutely. The Galapagos Islands are a place where you can truly connect with nature, discover this unique wildlife, and create memories that will last a lifetime. And Santa Cruz, with its blend of accessibility and adventure, is the perfect place to start.
This deep dive has been so insightful and inspiring. Before we say goodbye, any final words of wisdom for those dreaming of their own Galapagos adventure?
Remember that the Galapagos Islands are a truly special place, unlike anywhere else on Earth. Travel responsibly, embrace the unexpected, and allow yourself to be captivated by the wonders that surround you. The Galapagos will leave a mark on your soul.
Beautifully said. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey to the heart of the Galapagos. Until next time, keep exploring.